Hello, everyone. I am Jeetu Patel. I'm the Executive Vice President and GM for the Security and Collaboration business at Cisco. And I am delighted to have with me today Patrick Moran, who is the Chief Revenue Officer of Calendly, which is most recently one of our new partners that we've actually integrated into the WebEx ecosystem. We are delighted to be partnering with you, Patrick, and we have so much to talk about. But before we even start talking to you about the partnership and the meaning of all of that, and what the benefits are for our users, our teams have put together a great video of the integration together. So let's make sure that we roll tape and show that.
You can automatically generate a dynamic WebEx meeting link for any Calendly event. Visit your integrations page in your Calendly account to connect WebEx. Once you've connected your WebEx account to Calendly, go back to Home to add WebEx to any of your event types. From the What Event Is This section when editing an event type, set WebEx as the location. Once you save changes, Calendly will automatically add your WebEx details every time this event type is booked. As your invitees book time with you, they'll see that the meeting will be hosted with WebEx video conferencing. After they've booked, you and your invitees will automatically receive WebEx details in your calendar invite. Schedule meetings faster with Calendly's WebEx integration.
Well, that was a great video. And Patrick, welcome again. And so tell us a little bit about yourself. How long have you been at Calendly and what is going on with Calendly? It seems like you folks are on a tear right now.
We are doing some amazing things. First of all, thank you for having me today. Let's see. So a little bit about me. I'm the Chief Revenue Officer, which at Calendly just means marketing and sales and partnerships. And I've been here about a year, a little over a year, but I've been in the collaboration space for a good while. In fact, I started my California journey as a WebEx employee. WebEx bought a company called intranets.com way back when. And so I'm very familiar with your tech and love the brand and felt like I was part of building it. The last thing I'll note is you asked about the Calendly. Yes, we are on an absolute tear. But stepping back, Calendly is a scheduling platform. We're in the cloud. We help individuals and enterprises automate scheduling. We're known for our simplicity. Sorry?
That's a big problem.
It is. Scheduling is absolutely a huge problem. There's a lot of annoying features or lack of features of people going back and forth to schedule that meeting. The average meeting in a business context takes 4 to 5 emails to even get the thing scheduled. We've got 10 million users on our platform now.
Wow.
Yeah, it's wild. And you can imagine it's sales calls, recruiting, onboarding calls, all sorts of external facing meeting scheduling, all the way down to parent teacher conferences and yoga sessions. So it's an amazing time to be at Calendly. High growth and again, just a really, really great time to be.
And so how did you folks internally think about the fact that, hey, in hybrid work, collaborating with companies like WebEx is going to be on your priority list? I'm sure that your feature request that you have from customers is much longer than you have engineers to go out and fulfill. But how did you think about prioritizing this, and why was this important to you? And what are the use cases that you're thinking about?
Yeah, so a couple things. The WebEx partnership was obvious. We listened to our customers, and the number one integration for 2021 that people were asking for was WebEx. Excuse me, and it makes sense when you think about it. We're focused on the pre-meeting experience right now and the post-meeting experience, and so the middle part, we'll leave that to WebEx, who's got decades of experience in making those experiences amazing and flawless and video quality and all the things that y'all do. But we focus on that today, on the scheduling that happens before the meeting. And then a lot of our customers are using more and more capabilities that we call workflows, which are essentially follow-up activities that happen out after the meeting, whether if there's a no-show or a text or those types of things that we want to do after the meeting.
And so in the use case and during the meeting,
Yep.
if you were massively successful in the future, what is the key metric that you'd like to see changed within the world? Like, how is the world going to look different if Calendly becomes as large as Microsoft?
That I love the framing, and it's not a question of if, it's when. So let's see. I think the answer is we certainly want to compress the time that people are spending. Or let me back up, actually. The number one thing that we want to do is we believe that meetings are the most important part, as I'm sure you do, most important part of most business relationships. And we want to remove the friction to the left and right of those
Yeah.
meetings, so that you can get down to business and not, again, like, every minute matters. And that's one of the things that I've learned as a hybrid worker today is the amount of time that I can save by being local at home, and I can manage my time much better. But the downside, or the challenge, is I want to manage my time doing high value things and scheduling meetings and doing
Is not high value.
follow-ups, and yeah, that's not high value. And so we want to make sure that we eliminate that for our users, and go from there.
And so you talked about hybrid work. How is Calendly actually thinking about hybrid work? Are you, for your own employees, are you thinking about it as people are going to be working in mixed mode for a long time, or are people going to come back into the office 100% of the time?
Man, that is a very relevant topic right now. The answer for us, so we were an Atlanta-based company. We've got about 400 employees now. And you'll notice I said the word "were" because we've chosen the path of not remote only, but remote first. And I know those are words that every company's using some version of that. But for us, that meant we aren't going to staff the Atlanta office, and we are going to let everybody work from home or wherever they want. In our case, we chose, and I'm here today at a WeWork, because we gave every single employee the ability to go to any WeWork office in the world.
I see.
And what we're not saying is that we'll never have an office. When we go to open up offices in the UK, which is probably going to be a next year thing for us, we want to reserve the right to be able to have a place for people to go and get a sense of community. But for us, so much of the work, and it's been amazing, actually. It was super well received, and it's been really cool to see. For us, we wanted to make the flexibility and experiment with what it meant to be hybrid, as you say. And so far, it's been a really cool experience.
So you're gonna have some people working from home some days of the week, some people working someplace else. Your hiring practices, are you gonna determine your hiring practices based on geography? Are you gonna allow for hiring to happen anywhere in the world? How's that gonna work?
Man, every single thing you bring up is like this real-time thing that we're going through in the company. So the short answer is yes, anywhere in the world. That took with a 400-person company, there's a lot of change in terms of people management, making sure we have all the tools, they have a good experience from compensation and benefits and all that stuff. So that's where the work has been, but conceptually and strategically and sort of culturally, yes, anywhere in the world. That is definitely part of our story moving forward.
That's fantastic. And so maybe one or two final questions is, as you think about partnering with companies like us, what is your general stance on partnership? Like, how are you thinking about building out an ecosystem to make sure that you can actually have tight integrations? I'll tell you the stance that we've had that's been really useful for us is, even if there's a small competitive element, which in our case there really isn't, but even if there was a small competitive element between two companies, we have decided to say we need to open the doors to partnership, because if the customer's chosen to use technology A and Cisco, we need to make sure that we owe it to the customer that both of those products work really well together and seamlessly, because that's right for the customer, and therefore it's going to be right by us. How are you thinking about ecosystem and building it out, and what specifically can our customers expect moving forward? Are there use cases that you have in mind that you'd like to actually see us do more work with? And is there any ask that you have of Cisco? So a
Oh,
very
yeah.
compound question.
That is a compound question, but if I break it down for a moment, first of all, we want to partner with best in breed companies. We want to we listen to our customers in terms of what parts of the ecosystem and again, as I mentioned before, WebEx was one of those. The other directions that we go beyond meeting platforms are CRM and applicant tracking systems. That's a big part of our story because people want they want to embed that scheduling inside their workflow, not bounce out to their Gmail or whatever service that they're using. And so that's a big part of our strategy overall. Same thing there, which is it's best in breed, sort of let's look at what the customers want and build there, rather than committing to one group or what have you. Your follow-on question as I unpack the compound was, what could we do with Cisco more? First of all, I'd have to think about that. I assume, and pardon me if I'm wrong, but I assume that very different, but you all want to live outside of the meeting as well, but via chat
Absolutely.
and all the other services, right? And so we want to be there with you as well. We want when if you're having communication asynchronously or semi-synchronously, in a chat environment, we want you to be one click away to, hey, invite this person. We focus on that in email today, but man, that would be a wonderful extension for all your customers that are thinking of the WebEx and Cisco platform as the place that they get work done and communicate.
Yeah, the way that we would say it is like I'm very obsessed with just making sure that we take out the friction for the user, right? And so when a user wants to go out and think about planning a meeting, when the user is in the meeting and wants to do something during the meeting to make sure that they can schedule, or when they've done something after and they want to communicate, or they've chosen to say, let's not have a meeting and let's do something asynchronously. But schedule time so that people can go out and listen to their own time. All of those use cases and scenarios, we think Calendly could be a great partner for us, and we want to make sure that we work very closely with you. Look, hey, thank you for all the partnership. Your team has been great. Annie Pearl is a very a dear person that I had the privilege of working with, who is now your chief product officer. So please say hello to her when you see her. And we are big fans of Calendly, and we want to make sure that we wish you all the success. And this is just the start of the partnership, and there's going to be much more to come. So thank you again.
Thank you, Jeetu. Thank you so much. Fun conversation.
Likewise.